Okay.
Thank you. Kavita ma'am, we can start.
Okay, ma'am. So, good evening, everyone. Before commencing our FDP of today's session, can you all switch on your video for taking a screenshot? Thank you all. Ma'am, is it okay, Manal ma'am?
I request a few more participants to switch on the videos because here everything is blank.
Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Yeah, maybe that I think I'm not permitted to use the camera. Can the administrator please allow me to use the camera? If required, if required.
Sir, I didn't get you.
No, there is no permission for me in your meet to use my camera, right? Am I clear?
No, you can switch on.
Yeah, it's already switched on, ma'am. Actually, I'm not getting it. Like, it says that, give me a second.
Mernal ma'am, if possible, inform sir to just log out and log in again. While logging in again, he can give access to himself.
Maybe I'll do that, ma'am. Give me a minute. Yeah, right.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Manal ma'am, can you hear me? Can I start the session?
Sir has joined. Yeah, now sir has joined.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll just take capture the screen once. Participants, can you please switch on the video? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Shall I start, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowledge becomes powerful when it is shared and innovation and becomes meaningful when it serves society. Good evening, everyone. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all to the second day of our Atal sponsored 6-day online faculty program on AI and cybersecurity for a sustainable future, innovations in health, agriculture, and smart cities. Now, I take the pleasure of inviting Dr. G. Brinda Ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of Biotechnology, to kindly welcome the gathering and to introduce our esteemed chief guest for today's session.
Thank you, ma'am. A pleasant evening to everyone present here. On behalf of the organizing team, I extend a warm and a cordial welcome to the second day of the AICTE Training and Learning Atal Academy 6 days online faculty development program on AI and cybersecurity for a sustainable future, innovations in health, agriculture, and smart cities, organized jointly by the Department of Computer Science and Cybersecurity and Department of Biotechnology. At the outset, I take this opportunity to thank our respected management and our principal, sir, for their constant support and encouragement in successfully conducting this FDP. I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude Dr. Mernal Ma'am, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Computer Science with Cybersecurity, and Dr. Rajalakshmi Ma'am, Professor and Head, Department of Biotechnology, for their efforts and dedicated leadership in making this program impactful and meaningful. We are truly honored today to have among us Dr. Ganesh Ram, sir, Managing Director of Applied Genomics, Coimbatore, as a distinguished resource person. Sir, we are privileged to welcome you and look forward to an enlightening session which will add immense value to our learning. I also take this moment to warmly welcome all our respected faculty members from various colleges, my dear colleagues who have joined us today. Your active involvement is the strength of this FTP, and I'm sure the discussions and knowledge shared will be greatly beneficial to all of us. With these words of welcome, I once again thank each and every one of you for your gracious presence and participation. Let us together look forward to another productive and enriching day of learning. It's my privilege to introduce Dr. Ganeshram sir, an eminent scientist, academician, and visionary leader in the field of agricultural biotechnology. Sir is currently serving as the Managing Director of Applied Genomics Private Limited, Coimbatore, after an illustrious 24 years of dedicated service at Tamil Nadu Agriculture University in both teaching and research. Dr. Ganeshram sir obtained his undergraduate, postgraduate, and PhD degrees from TNAU Coimbatore and pursued his postdoctoral research at University of California, Davis, USA. Sir academic and professional journey reflects a rare blend of scholarship, innovation, and leadership. Sir has been recognized with several prestigious international honors, including the DBT Overseas Associateship for Advanced Training at the University of California, where Sir was trained in TILLING by high throughput sequencing at the renowned Leuka-Comey TILLING Laboratory of the Genome Center. To be honored, Sir is a recipient of the Japan International Research Center for Agricultural Sciences, JARCAS Fellowship, and the Monsanto Beach Borlaug Fellowship for developing low glycemic index rice. Sir research has significantly advanced the fields of reverse genetics, allele mining, plant genetic resource conservation, and cryopreservation techniques. Sir notable contributions include the release of rice, black gram, and green gram varieties, the establishment of the Ramaya Gene Bank and Cryo Gene Bank at TNAU, and the development of a patented low glycemic index rice variety that has been successfully commercialized. With over 70 scientific publications, 40 books, and multiple book chapters, Sir work has left an inedible mark on plant biotechnology. Sir has also successfully completed over 11 externally funded projects worth 9 crores at TNAU and has been instrumental in advancing cutting-edge research and innovation at Applied Genomics through national and international collaborations. A passionate teacher and a mentor, Sir has guided 26 postgraduate students, 8 PhD scholars nurturing the next generation of scientists. Today, as we welcome Sir as a distinguished chief guest and resource person, we are looking forward to gaining insights from his vast expertise and inspirational journey in agriculture biotechnology, plant genomics, and translational research. Once again, we all welcome you, sir.
Yeah, good evening, and thank you very much for your benevolent introduction. Maybe that, shall we get into the business? Maybe that I would like to have my slides first so that I can start. Thank you very much. I'm really delighted to see such a wonderful response. Almost 57 faculty members are here for this particular program. It is a very noble program. I can understand that this is from your Atal Center, and it is being, I think it's being sponsored by DST, right?
AICT, sir.
Oh, it's it, ma'am. Okay, fine, ma'am. Fine. Okay, ma'am. Can you please share my slides first so that I can start my session?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can you wait for 5 minutes, sir?
Take your time, no problem.
Yeah, okay.
In the meantime, can I just talk something about my company and what we are doing exactly? So that, is it okay?
Sure, sir.
Yeah.
You can.
I'm actually, faculty is actually, we started our company by 2023. And after my VRS from TNAU. And right now we are supporting seed industries, multiple seed industries for their molecular breeding proposals. We are working on development of molecular markers, especially sequence-based markers for high throughput. Genotyping is our key issue. So maybe that we are a young startup of almost 4 or 5 years old, and we are also supported by BioRack big funding for developing a DNA extraction technology using, it's an automation, fully automated DNA extraction technology using magnetic bead-based options. Also that we are in the process of developing, the genotyping reagents, something like what we call it as allele-specific, something like TACMAN assays, which many of the biologists might be knowing. So, in seed industry, the challenge is that we have millions and millions of data points to be assessed for plant breeding. Let it be quality control or let it be for R&D. The requirement is huge, but per data point cost is very low. Maybe like you cannot imagine. We are supplying DNA extraction reagents for ₹2. Also that we are also supplying TACMAN assays for ₹5. So this is a challenge. Of course, the volume is huge. That is a challenge which we are facing, and we are working successfully. And we are mostly concentrating on import substitutions, our key issue. But anyhow, so that's about what we are doing at present in applied genomics. Okay, thank you very much. And let me get into my topic. And maybe that, I think my slides are not full. Maybe give me a minute. I'll just try to open it up. So is there any way that, yeah, it's fine. Now it's getting better, yes. Okay. So maybe that this topic, which is out of focus for me, in fact, I'm basically not a computer scientist or a computer technology in that sense, but still, I just want to share my experience as a food safety and food quality is concerned, since I've been working with some food business organizations, especially especially in the food safety options. And I happen to, I'm going to share only my experiences as far as food safety is concerned. Don't expect too many things on the blockchain and artificial intelligence. I know that there is one more lecture coming tomorrow, as I saw the schedule. So maybe that the expert will share a lot of information about the algorithms and also about the possible, the blockchain, the computation issues around the blockchain. Anyway, my focus will be on the biology. And especially, as an agriculture scientist, I'm going to concentrate more on the food safety issues than on the blockchain. But of course, the application of blockchain is really exciting. That's what I'm going to share. Can you please share my slides, ma'am? I'm yet to get my slides. Okay, it's fine. It's getting better. Can you go for a full slide mode?
Yeah, once again, sir. Once again.
Yes.
Kavita ma'am, just play the slideshow.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
You have the option slideshow on top, the menu bar. Yeah, on top, top.
This one,
Animation,
ma'am.
animation, and then slideshow. On the menu bar.
Yeah, I can see it, ma'am. One second. One second.
What's happening? It's got stuck.
Yes, ma'am.
Let it get ready. Just I want to just give a small introduction about the topic. As of now, you know that the food safety is a very serious issue. It's a global issue, and of course, it's a very complex issue in the sense, with the kind of environmental pollution and also the climate change are all affecting the food quality. And maybe it is becoming more and more challenging. It's a global challenge right now to ensure healthier food options for the millions of mouths, or maybe billions of mouths rather. So in that sense, food safety is gaining a lot of importance. And where it's a very complex problem in the sense that, it is not a single factor of agriculture alone. It involves so many things that includes the weather parameters, the soil parameters, as well as, the plant parameters, also that after harvesting, the post-harvest mechanisms, and also that including packing, transportation, everything contributes a lot as of the food quality is concerned. So that's why I say it is a very complex issue which requires a lot of attention. I invite a lot of faculties to work to take this as a very serious problem. Okay, so and next slide. Yeah, it's getting better. Yes. So you know that the foodborne illnesses are a very serious problem, and almost 600 million cases of illnesses due to food is being reported throughout the globe. And also like almost 5 to 6 lakh deaths in the global scenarios also directly due to food-borne diseases. Also that we all know that the chronic diseases like cancer is also induced by many food parameters, especially the heavy metals in the food, as well as, a lot of toxic content, especially the chemicals, agrochemicals, which are used, the pesticides, the fungicides, and so on. So maybe that, so these are the issues which has to be seriously taken care. And of course, a lot of initiative is being done in the side of agriculture, but still a lot of lacuna as of the connectivity is concerned. Is what we see as a big problem. Next slide, please. Yeah, as I said, it's a very complex problem, especially for food business owners. Until otherwise you get your raw material better. It is not easy to prepare a healthy food. It starts, we have a lot of contaminants, as I already mentioned, the chemical contaminants, the biological contaminants such as viruses and bacteria and so on, and the physical contaminants like heavy metals. Also the practices, what I mean by practices is especially the practices involved, or maybe the practices that are adopted for processing the food. Maybe to be very specific, the preservatives used, and the knowledge is also a very serious concern. The lack of knowledge, especially in the rural environment, as of the food processing is concerned, also in the food production chain. And attitude is another very important issue, where that issue, the human psychology, especially the adulteration is a key issue here. All these things should be addressed by any food business owner. It is not going to be easy. This is where the traceability is very important. This is where the traceability becomes a key issue. Next slide, please. Yeah. So traceability is, I told you that traceability of food is critically important. The reason being, the contamination issues starts from a source, from a specific source. If you look at the food business, a food business owner, he's likely to get his raw material, or maybe look at a processor as a whole. He's likely to get his material from multiple sources. Even if you take a rice mill, you know that there are hundreds and thousands of merchants working around the rice mill, and they're going to push in all their products together in a rice mill which is being milled. As well as then it goes to a hotel or domestic options. All these things get together, and this becomes a very complex problem. So it is very until otherwise you have a mechanism to trace the source. Suppose if one single contaminant source is there in thousands of lots, then we all know that it's going to spoil the entire food. This is the basic problem with the food. As of now, the food business is basically very much affected because of very few sources of contamination. Let it be heavy metals, let it be biological contaminants, whatever maybe, that it is going to create a havoc. Finally, this is what is happening in the case of basmati rice. If you look at basmati rice, 80% of the basmati rice of Indian origin is being rejected by EU as well as in US. The reason being that it is being contaminated with heavy metals like arsenic as well as the pesticide load and all other loads is above the MRL levels. The maximum residual levels are very high in Indian rice. And once again, because of the lack of traceability is becoming a key issue. Even basmati people have started adopting the traceability options right now. And there is a good hope after the introduction of the new IoT and IT-based technologies like blockchain and artificial intelligence and so on. Next slide, please. So traceability, what it means? That means we have to follow the food chain throughout the process. Not only that we have to follow the production process, but also we have to look at the ingredients as well. Not only the main source, but also all other ingredients. For example, if you're producing wheat, for instance, or maybe a prepared food like, say, possibly, let it be like the pastas, or maybe, many other sources. You know that ingredients are also critically important. Even ingredient contamination it may be a small ingredient. A small fraction of ingredient can also be a contaminant as such. And that's what the traceability is not easy. It has to involve a lot of networks to be traced to come out with an option to have a very safe food. So, the traceability becomes important for two reasons. One is for the food safety. As you know that the rapid identification of the trace, rapid traceability can help us in removing the contaminants immediately before the processing is taken up, or maybe before the entire lot is being contaminated. And the quality control also, the monitoring is very important. So, and the regular monitoring can come only if the traceability is there. So until otherwise you monitor it continuously, this problem cannot be eliminated. So it's a very complex problem. That is where the traceability becomes a key issue. Next slide, please. Yeah, and if you look at the traditional traceability options, it was like a old library, that it is not easy to maintain. Also, it is all in broken records and no connectivity between producers. And, not only that the connectivity is lacking, also that the proper registration mechanism, because lack of, transparency is not there, because individuals are going to maintain their own records. For instance, if you take a series of production activities around agriculture, it is not easy. You cannot promote a farmer until otherwise, he's educated and he's put into a particular network. This traceability is never going to happen with the traditional network. That is where the modern traceability options has to be taken care, has to be introduced into the food business. Only then we can assure, safe food. Otherwise, it's not easy. Yeah, next slide. Traceability, when it comes to traceability, the two technologies gains importance here. One is the blockchain technology. Of course, all of us know that blockchain was initiated with the Bitcoin. Of course, don't be worried about Bitcoin and all these issues. Blockchain technology is something like internet. Where that email is one application. Likewise, Bitcoin is one of the applications, but blockchain has so many applications. Of course, it is picking up. That the blockchain technology was introduced by 2008 and 2009 was by some Japanese scientists. And of course, it was introduced only for the Bitcoin. Many of the technologies always starts with finance. Only then it comes into the other arena of problems. Likewise, blockchain also started from Bitcoin, and of course, it's picking up a lot of improvements and a lot of wonderful arenas have come in blockchain, and it is getting, it is going to have a big impact, not only to the food industry, but also in multiple production and manufacturing processes. You know that Mahindra is a key, as I see the Mahindra production, the car production activity around Mahindra, the blockchain is gaining a lot of importance, and you can see that the designing and a lot of improvement around Mahindra and as well as data is happening because of a lot of integration of blockchains. So like that, it's also possible with biology. Why not with biology? Also, then the second technology, or maybe another important and exciting technology, is going to be the AI. AI, the blockchain is going to generate a lot of data. As we think about hundreds of networks being connected, it is going to generate huge volume of data. So someone has to sit, no one individually can sit together like what has happened with the election commission. It is not easy to analyze all the data together without another technology. And, if you have huge volumes of data, then, AI is going to be the key issue. For data traceability, predictive options are also there. You can predict a lot of things. If you give 10 years of data around agriculture, a wonderful prediction can be done with AI. And we are also seeing a lot of improvements in AI. I think most of us have started using AI for our multiple scientific applications. And it's very exciting, of course. Next slide, please. Yeah, and just let me start with the blockchain option. Blockchain, the core concept is very simple. We are trying to organize a decentralized ledger. It's something like a ledger, a traditional ledger, but here it is all based on, I can say it is a digital ledger, which is connected to multiple networks. And, all the stakeholders are getting connected into one network. And of course, it is immutable. Immutable in the sense it is not possible for you to make any change. Once if you make an entry as a stakeholder, you are done. You cannot go back and make any change. Okay, that is very important for any, network to be strong. So in that way, it has to be immutable. And also, you have a big network of things happening, a lot of stakeholders in a production process like agriculture or maybe industrial process. And it involves like 5 to 6 steps to be simple. If you are if you are a stakeholder in a blockchain, then if you want to make a transaction or an event, for instance, I can take the example of a farmer. If you want to spray, if he's a part of imagine an educated farmer, if he wants to spray a pesticide on a day for a crop, which includes, I'll come to in the next slide, I have a lot of explanations to be done. So maybe, if he's about to spray a pesticide or a fungicide, even let it be a safe pesticide, whatever it may be, even let it be a non-toxic option, organic option, but still he has to put up a request for the transaction or maybe for the event to happen. And this request has to be accepted by all the stakeholders. That includes the processors up to the retailers. Everyone has to accept that, and that will be recorded. And in turn, if the second stakeholder or maybe the third stakeholder or whomsoever it may be has another suggestion or possibly one more improvement to be done in another step, that also becomes a part of that, the event, and it is being recorded in a chronological order. So many such events are, networked together to form a blockchain, and that is what we call as a blockchain. And of course, once it is registered, it cannot be altered. So it becomes very transparent. You see that all the entire data from the start to end is available for all the stakeholders to go through. So it becomes a completely networked option, and the transaction is completely transparent. So the entire network of, let it be a production operation or maybe a manufacturing or maybe whatever it may be, you have a complete transparency assured in this process, and everyone has to have an access to the network. That's the only requirement. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, this is a typical, a kind of food chain based blockchain, which looks to be interesting. I know that there are the stakeholders in this network. A small network is what I mean, just for our understanding. The growers or farmers together is the first part of the stakeholders, and the processes. What I mean by the primary processes, like milling or maybe, the small activities where the small processing is being done. And of course, the logistic people are also very important. Logistics also gains a lot of importance in terms of the food quality. And of course, the manufacturer is a key. He is a major stakeholder here. Then, of course, the last but not the least is going to be the retailer who is going to sell the product as a manufactured product. And finally, it comes to the consumer. Just by using a mobile app, he can follow the entire blockchain, which comes in a form of a QR code in the product. Once if he scans a QR code in an application, in a regular application, he can follow the entire blockchain so that the complete process is clear. If you take the example of organic agriculture, just to share a small example, as an agriculture scientist, I was curious to follow many of the organic stores around. You know that we are all paying double the amount for multiple organic products around, but I was not at all convinced of the kind of what the production process is taking place. I was looking for the transparency around these networks. I know that there are more than 100 stores even in our own city. And as I started following, I think I ended up with a big, I don't see a real organic farming going around. Just to share one more example, even as I passed through a glass house being maintained by one of the biggest retailer in the city for organic products, I was shocked to see that they are spraying pesticide inside a glass house. A raw pesticide is being sprayed inside a glass house. So you can imagine the issues around organic agriculture. That is where the traceability becomes very important. One more issue is that as I was passing through an organic store in the morning, early in the morning, as I was going for a walk, I found a labor sitting in front of the shop. In front of the shop, I don't like to name the shop as of now, but I saw her putting all the vegetables in a container which had a clay, kind of a soil. She was soiling the entire vegetables. Then I asked her why she is doing that. Then she said, organic vegetables are always natural. So her intention was to mix it with soil. So what people think is that once we have soil vegetables, it is purely organic. That was the concept she had. And likewise, even my own wife, as she goes to the market, she always picks up the vegetables that are infested. She says that the infested vegetables are actually organic. These are the misconceptions that is going around the market. And that is because of lack of traceability in the entire organic network in India. So I don't know whether these are the things which has to be, corrected. Next slide, please. Yeah, see, these are the key events in a typical, agri-food chain. Some of the events are what we call as transaction and blockchain event. The cultivators are supposed to enter the GPS of the farm. If it is going to be imagine a good network of farming, organic farming, for instance, then that the GPS of the farm is critically important, and the farm certification of the farm for its organic cultivation has to be ascertained. The farmer or the cultivator has to, or maybe the network of farmers has to note their certifications, and the cultivation practices on the real time has to be recorded every single day, and also they should record all the events, like what are the chemicals they are spraying, let it be a safe pesticide, whatever, maybe it has to be recorded. Also the incidence of pest and disease has to be recorded. Also they have to record all the events up to harvest, and including the primary storage practices, whatever they follow, processing and storage practices, everything has to be recorded. So the processes are concerned, they should give the certification, the GPS information, the warehouse and factory storage practices, including the fumigation practices. Safe fumigation options are available right now. Processing methods followed, and also the primary packing that is followed by the processor. For instance, a rice mill, as an example. And logistics is again a clean transport is what is essentially required. As you know, in India, clean transport is a big problem. With proof, even for the clean transportation, there are a lot of certifications available, and status of the products before and after the transport, everything has to be recorded properly. These are I mean, as of the manufacturers, it's very important. They have to follow the GMP methods. They have to register all the good manufacturing practices, options that they're following, including their certifications, all scientific details related to manufacturing, preservative usage, etc., etc. Everything has to be incorporated into the blockchain as an event. And as for the retailers, once again, the data requirement of the product in real time, periodic check of the related data. What I mean by check of the related data is, they have to check for the quality of the product on the shelf. Let it be a refrigerated shelf or a RT shelf, whatever it may be, they have to record the data periodically, depending on the, if it is going to be a perishable product, they have to register every day or every 4 to 5 hours. So like that, the recording has to be continued. And also the pricing related issues also should be transparently published in the blockchain. So I hope you understand the entire network, how it is operating, and you can see what it can deliver for the consumer as a whole. So I think that is well established in this particular blockchain events. Next slide, please. So what are the benefits of the blockchain in food traceability as a whole, without which I think food traceability is almost impossible? Improved traceability, that we can trace every event, every single event, starting from the seed source to everything can be traced out with ease up to the level of consumer. Tracing is possible. And also we can prevent, it's all transparent all the day. Entire process is transparent, without which you cannot operate. Because, even including the bags, the manufactured bags, as well as all other inputs has to come from a perfect source. Otherwise, you cannot have an entry. You will not be allowed. Everything has a proof of concept has to be entered. In that way, you should make a video of everything. The photograph, videos, all these visual aids also should be done so that you can prevent all the fraudulent events that takes place normally in food chains. And also, that confidence of the consumer improves because he's able to track the entire, he or she is able to track the entire process. Also that when it comes to recalls, when there is a contaminated product, even for the retailer, it's easy for him to recall and throw out all the contaminated products. And also it's easy to trace where the contamination has started so that he can eliminate, at least for that particular season, he can eliminate the retailer can eliminate that product from that source. So these are the advantages of having a good blockchain in the food chain. Next slide, please. So here is a case study, a very interesting case study. And of course, blockchain is still in a very initial phase as the food chains are concerned. But I could see there are some Indian options or maybe Indian initiatives also coming up. So maybe Walmart in the US, as you all know, it's a pioneering series of food stores in US, a major food store. And they faced a problem of foodborne disease foodborne diseases break over particular specific seasons. And especially this happens in their, perishable fruits as well as in meat. These are the two issues they were facing over a period of a decade. And in fact, they joined hands with IBM, a giant in IT and IoT technologies. And they started, developing a blockchain of all the events, all these things, as I already mentioned. A similar kind of blockchain from the producer point to the retailer point was taken up. And next slide, please. Yeah. So that, they tracked the entire event of mangoes from, most of the mangoes are from India. So many of the mango growers, there is a good association of mango growers in India. And they were all participating in this particular blockchain event. And it has ended up in a grand success. And that pork in China was also followed. As I told you, meat is always a problem to maintain. So that, this blockchain worked very well. And, it has come up very well that they are able to eliminate many of their problems. For instance, so the pork is concerned. They have allowed all the producers in China to upload. I mean, this particular story was done in the Chinese Walmart stores, and they allowed the uploading of all the certificates of pork production. So that brought out wonderful results. A lot of transparency was assured. Also that the mangoes, the traceability time was around 7 to 8 days earlier before the blockchain was integrated. But after the integration of blockchain, the entire tracing out event takes within 2 seconds, within 3 seconds at the maximum. So you can see the traceability speed has increased, a lot of transparency assured, even with the very sensitive products which are being exported from a long distance. Okay, so that is a wonderful thing that blockchains can bring into a food chain. Next slide, please. And now, Walmart has introduced this blockchain events into 25 to 30 products almost, including their green leafy vegetables. So you know that the transparency is completely assured just by scanning a container in a store like Walmart. The customer or maybe the consumer can get the entire event starting from first stage of production till the packing, everything is assured. So that is a wonderful thing about the blockchain. Next slide, please. Madam, next slide, please. Am I audible?
Oh,
Yes,
sir,
sir,
you're
just
not.
a minute, sir.
Shall I change the slide, sir?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And coming to the AI as a technology, as I told you, the data generated and as you can imagine, the data generated from blockchain is going to be huge. And so you need a kind of analysis platform where AI can contribute a lot for a huge volume of data. And also, that AI algorithms, I'm sure, which will be discussed by the specialist in the next talk, either by tomorrow or today. That a lot of predictability options are also increasing. And that you can also, employ AI as a screening tool for food quality, for all the, you can easily put the AI or maybe the robotic AI options for screening the food lots. For all the safety standards and so on. So a lot of options available with AI. Next slide, please. Yeah. So maybe AI introduces predictive analysis. Analytics is possible. Predictive analysis, what I mean is if you are going to input a big data of agriculture, maybe over 10 years, if you have all the data, including weather parameters, the production parameters, the manufacturing parameters, all these things, there is going to be, the AI can forecast all the risks around. Maybe that it can easily give the food business operator all the risk that might happen. Maybe like if there is a disease breakdown or a breakout of a disease or, it can predict all the risks around in the market. So it can go through the entire data. It's a kind of heuristic analysis that can be done by AI, and it can give you a lot of warnings. So that is a wonderful option as of the food business operators are concerned. Also that, AI can also be used, recently I saw, a kind of sensor, which is called as nose sensor, which is similar to the nose of a human being, which can, sense the smell of foods. So that is being utilized for basmati. For basmati rice, the basmati producers have started using the electronic nose, that's what they call. And likewise, many of the spices, coffee board and spice board are also using electronic sensors at present. So AI, it's all powered by AI once again. A lot of sensing options are also available, the real-time monitoring. And also you can automate the entire quality parameters, and that for all the inspection parameters can be easily automated in a high throughput mode. So maybe that it can easily detect the defects as well as the contaminants and also the spoilage. Everything can be detected with the AI technology. Even at a very low, even if there is a very low level of contamination, using such sensors, you can easily detect the contaminants and you can easily recall those products. So all these options are opening up. It's very exciting that the food business is becoming much safer and safer. And also that, compliance monitoring is really, it's another important process. That there are a lot of certifications involved in food. It is something similar to drug certification. So compliance is very critical, and monitoring all the compliance parameters in the food business is not easy. Once again, AI can improve or maybe can ease up the compliance monitoring process, which is otherwise very difficult. Next slide. So maybe that putting these two technologies together, it's easily possible. That there are a lot of options available to link these two technologies. Already a lot of, wonderful things are happening in the space technology, where a lot of blockchains as well as the AI is being integrated. In a similar way, there will be certainly some networks coming through, at least in another 4-5 years, in the food chain also. Maybe that basmati growers are trying such a network to be installed at least within another 1 or 2 years. So a lot of options, and to integrate these two technologies together will really work very well towards the food safety, which is our ultimate goal. So next slide. Next slide. Yeah. So about the benefits for the different stakeholders, I think, sir, there is some difference.
Ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
ஆமா 2 பேரும் சேர்ந்து பாத்துக்கிட்டு இருப்போம். நான் பார்த்தா காட்ட விட்டா, நான் பார்த்தா காட்ட விட அதை சொன்னாங்க.
Participants, kindly unmute yourself.
வெக்கம் வேதனை நான் வந்து சொல்லிட்டு அதை சொன்னா இன்னைக்கு போய் மாட்டிட்டு முடிப்போம்.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll let you go. So the stakeholders, farmers are benefited for the improved transparency and ingredients. And timely payments are assured for farmers. As the processes are concerned, distributors, of course, the efficiency becomes better and better, if you can imagine. The retailers gain a lot of consumer confidence. So the consumers are concerned, the peace of mind, the product and safe food prices are available. Next slide.
காலக்கூட கால
Central, can you please advise them to mute, please?
Unmute yourself.
ஒரு மாதிரி நினைக்கிறேன்னா ஒரு மாதிரி டைம் சொல்லுவான். நான் சாரியை கட்டிட்டு வந்து நிக்க சொல்லுங்க, அப்படியே இருப்பான்.
Is there any way that admin can mute them, please?
இப்படிதான் உனக்கு இப்படி இப்படி ஆடி காமிப்பாங்க.
Tamil Selvi ma'am, can you unmute yourself?
Participants, kindly mute yourself.
Ma'am, admin can have the rights to mute their.
Yes, sir. Nirmal ma'am, kindly mute all the participants, ma'am.
நானே காட்டுறேன்.
என்னடா எத்தனை போட்டோ காமிச்ச, அதுல இருந்து காமிச்சியா? Excuse me, Vinola ma'am, kindly mute yourself. Vinola ma'am, kindly mute yourself.
கட்டி விட்டுருந்தா மேல படியார மாதிரி ஏத்திருச்சு. உள்ள தொடச்சு நடந்து போச்சு. அதனால கழட்டி விட்டு அப்போ வந்துட்டு எனக்கு வீடியோ எடுத்துருந்தா.
Tamil Selvi ma'am, kindly mute yourself ma'am.
கேட்டப்போ சந்தேகம் Kavita ma'am, kindly make the announcement ma'am.
Yeah, I think it's muted now. It's fine. Yeah, let me proceed. So these are the benefits that you can easily see, which you can also feel as of the stakeholders concerned. So maybe for at the end point, consumers get a good product with a good traceability just by applying the IT and IoT technologies. It's a very peaceful option. If you get a product which is good enough for the payment, what we are doing as a consumer, we are all happy. So that is assured. That health is a very sensitive issue for any consumer. So that is assured as of this time. These technologies are very exciting in that sense. It can play a big role in food business. Next slide, please. Yeah. So as of yes, of course, for any technology, there are always challenges, and the both sides of the coins are always operating. As of the scalability is concerned, handling immense volume of data is a big issue. If you imagine a blockchain that is being generated by the Basmati Association of India, you know that what the kind of volume of data that is being generated, that should be generated out of that. But of course, a lot of options in the hardware side as well as the software side is happening. So it is becoming, big data is being handled, and you know that there are a lot of computation options, exciting computation options coming out. And the interoperability is another issue where, when you want to link too many blockchains together, doing different events or doing different operations. Of course, when they are linked with a certain product or process, then, interoperability is going to be a very important issue. And of course, our computer scientists are, they're very, they're very clever to do all these things. A lot of options have come out. So cost of implementation is another issue. That a lot of servers has to be put in, the hardware cost as well as software cost, as well as maintenance, especially of the servers, is going to be key. But maybe that there are a lot of, also that the regulatory frameworks, whenever a new technology is developed, for instance, if you take DNA technology as a whole, even still we find it difficult to have a regulatory framework for the DNA technology and diagnostics. In spite of this being utilized for the past 20 years, almost 20 years, I believe, but still the regulatory framework is not critically examined or not being critically implemented. So any new technology, it is not easy to put in a regulatory framework, but I think it should be possible. Next slide, please. Yeah. So how to work on these challenges? Standardization, harmonization for different events. A technology may be there. For instance, if you have a technology like sequencing. Sequencing is not easy always, even though sequencing itself is easy at present. But sequencing of your own sample is going to be very difficult. That is where you need to have a standardization process for your own sample. So many of the biotechnologists should be knowing this. Already sample to sample or maybe network to network harmonization and standardization is required in this case also. But that can be done, over a period of time. And government support and incentives are essentially required in a developing country like India to have also that we also need a regulatory clarity from the government as of the blockchain events are concerned. Forget the issues around the Bitcoin. Okay, that is a big issue. But on the other side, if you look at the food regulation, still a lot of lacuna in the regulatory networks is still existing in India, which is very unfortunate. And also interdisciplinary collaboration of bringing in the computer scientists, the food scientists, as well as the biologists, agriculture scientists, and policymakers together is also another option where we can overcome all these challenges. Also that education, especially for youngsters, we have to train the youngsters in all these lines. It's a kind of networking among youngsters, especially in the startup mode. And really, I could see some good startups coming around with the IoT technologies in agriculture, and they're also involved. I could see at least 20, 30 startups whom I'm doing some, the mentoring job for some good startups who are also who have included all the IT and IoT technologies. So a lot of options and a lot of, encouraging issues around. So that makes, the blockchain and AI technology very exciting in the field of food business. Hopefully, we'll have very good safe food, at least for the next generation. I think so, which is very important as a group of biologists as well as for the entire community as a whole. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for your patient listening. Thank you. I'm open for all the questions. Next slide, please.
Participants, now the session is open for discussion.
Good evening, Dr. Ganesh. Raj here from CyberWatt.
Good evening.
So I'm quite excited to see the way blockchain is shaping the food safety industry.
Yes.
So I would like to hear from you, like in terms of blockchain adoption for food safety in India. In what stage are we in your own views and experience? What stage are we, and when do you think that our ecosystem will be fully ready for a blockchain-based food chain
Yeah.
adoption?
Yes. This question can be partially answered by me as a biologist, but as a technologist, you also have a very important kind of responsibility here. So I believe that as of I'm sorry, I'll just switch on my camera. Just give me a second. Yeah. So maybe that I believe there are very key, as of now, blockchain is not that cheaper or it's a bit expensive. As a technologist, you know that very well. So, but maybe there are certain areas in agriculture where it can be prioritized. I see that there is, a kind of effort that's going around in basmati industry, because you know that the rejection in basmati is a kind of a pathetic situation. Is what is happening, especially because of the arsenic poisoning, and because of this. Lack of technology for traceability is a key issue in basmati. That is very clear. You know, it is not easy to cultivate basmati by one single company in one zone. So, if you look at agriculture as a whole, it's not easy to put everything together in one zone and have a control of everything. But with the kind of technology like blockchain, it should be possible. But I see that the kind of the first option or maybe the first effort is around the blockchain. A blockchain implementation as of agriculture is concerned is at the basmati is for the basmati rice. It is already on the anvil, but of course it's being optimized by, I think Infosys is taking a role in this. That's what I heard from basmati growers, but it's all still kept in a secret mode. Maybe that, a lot of sensitive issues are there because this is an export oriented issue, which is not, it's very sensitive in that sense.
Yeah.
So a lot of options are going around. And the second, the most important thing already which has been implemented, I was really excited to see that the Jharkhand seed companies or maybe the government seed, the department has already implemented the blockchain for their own organic seeds. Seeds are very important in organic agriculture, especially they want to screen all the non-GMO free seeds. So for which they have implemented the blockchain as of now. There is one event which I could see, which is already being implemented. I could see that it's working well. Of course, it's a small blockchain of hundreds of growers, not a very big one like what we think as in the case of Walmart. Yes, that is the second event which I could see. Also, that I could see that that kind of an option is also, blockchain is also happening around FCI, especially for all their warehouses. The Food Corporation of India is also implementing a blockchain for monitoring all their, what I can say is all their warehouses are being blockchain, and also all the parameters in the storage, especially the fumigation kind of issues, as well as that the environmental cues are also being incorporated in the blockchain. That is also happening. I met a person who is taking care of this blockchain in Hyderabad, and he is working on that issue. A big project is being implemented right now with the FCI. These are some of the blockchains, the initiatives that I could see in India. Maybe that is going to grow. Definitely in another 5 years or 6 years. I'm sure there is a huge responsibility. Also, there is a huge chance for technologists like you to take up this event in agriculture. That is very important. Already pharma is implementing the big way. But why not in agriculture? Once again, food safety is as important as that of the pharma safety. So that is where the events, it's a collaborative activity. A lot of scientists has to work together, including the IT people. Why not, sir? It is very exciting. A lot of options have started rolling out. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Sir, we have some questions in the chat box. Can I read?
Yeah, give me a minute, madam. I just couldn't see my chat box as such. Yeah, it's here. Can you give me the shortcut for chat box, how to access it? Give me a minute. It's here, I think so. Yeah, I could see.
Do you want us to
Okay.
repeat questions, sir?
Any possibility of applying blockchain technology for other sectors of agriculture apart from food traceability? Dr. Sanjan Kumar has asked this question. Yes, sir. Maybe that in organic agriculture as well as in all the inputs of agriculture, to assure the quality of inputs. Once again, the blockchain can be a very important option, especially when it comes to biofertilizers as well as growth hormones and so on. All these, as well as all the microbial options around agriculture, can also be integrated with blockchains. The entire input chain of agriculture can be critically input into agriculture. And apart from the food traceability, a lot of options. I could see a lot of options. Agriculture is not a simple scenario. It involves a lot of complex events. So wherever you think about agriculture, there is a possibility of including blockchain. This is one of the examples what I gave you. But if you look at any export options, and I believe one more addition is that, the spices board as well as coffee board is also implementing a blockchain events right now. So for all the, very sensitive products as well as expensive products, blockchain is being implemented. This is one more addition I want to add on. So a lot of options. And maybe that Dr. Kavita has asked a question. Can you tell me the main challenges of implementing blockchain-based traceability system in developing countries? Yes, madam. Some issues I discussed earlier. Maybe that the cost is going to be the issue. The major issue is going to be the cost, especially when you come across the urban networks. It's not easy to implement the blockchains in the urban environment. So that is going to be the one, and also the knowledge, lack of knowledge, and the requirement of training of the youngsters in the rural networks. Agriculture is always rural based. So that is the knowledge. The spreading the knowledge is another challenge, apart from the cost involved. And also that one more issue is that, the access to internet itself is a big challenge in a large country like ours. So these are some of the challenges which I could foresee. But of course, there may be many. Maybe technologists like Sir can explain a little bit more on that. So then maybe that, these are the questions. One more question. Also challenges in food quality assurance. Yes. Yeah, as I told you in my talk, so quality assurance comes, and this is a question asked by Dr. Rajalakshmi. I think she's a biotechnology head, right? Okay, so as far as the assurance is concerned, the certification becomes a key issue. As I gave you, yeah, please. Yeah. So maybe the certification becomes a key issue as far as assurance is concerned. Assurance always comes from certifying agencies, right? They take care of the assurance of the purity, as well as assurance of all the quality issues is integrated in the certification process, especially when it comes to organic content. Certification becomes the key. And, as already implemented in China, when it comes to pork production, that the producers are allowed to know the certificates. It's a certifying agency that will take care of all the other issues. But once the certificate is loaded into the blockchain, I think the assurance is already there. So it is not that difficult to integrate assurance through certification is always going to be there. It's a complex process, but that is being dealt very well by many certificate agencies are there in the country right now. The organic certification has vastly improved now. So it is only that the integration that is going to take place. So it is not that difficult. Yeah. I think these are the questions. I think. Yeah, fine. Any more questions? I'm okay. I'm happy. Otherwise, I would like to thank the organizers as well as all the faculties who are spending their time after a kind of hectic day. I know that it's not easy to involve in teaching. As a teacher, I also feel very tired after a day of teaching. So I thank all of you to listen to me in a patient way after all your classes after a tough day. I would also like to thank Dr. Sendil Kumar, who was the key person to contact me. And of course, he's my all-day friend as of his PhD research is concerned. We had a lot of discussions around. So I think I'm very happy to see him growing as a good faculty. Also, that I would like to thank the head of the department, Dr. Rajalakshmi, as well as the IT department people around. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ganeshram sir, for the inspiring and thought-provoking session. The application of blockchain and AI in food traceability and health that you discussed are truly futuristic and highly relevant to our theme. Moving on to our second session of the day, our esteemed chief guest of second session, Mr. Raj Babu, was graciously introduced in yesterday's session. We are delighted to welcome him once more, and I now invite him to deliver today's session on cyber threats in healthcare and smart cities. Sir, the screen is yours.
Okay, am I audible? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kavita ma'am. Thank you, Rajalakshmi ma'am and Merinal ma'am, and thanks for Dr. Ganesh Ram as well for the exciting session on food safety using biotechnology. Um, sorry. Okay. Sorry. Give me a minute. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So today's session is going to be on cyber security, cyber care with AI for the healthcare and the smart nation. So let me share this slide. Okay, is my slides visible?
Yes, sir.
No? Okay. 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 So yesterday we were actually like going through a presentation from Mr. Tyagarajan, who was actually like sharing more insights into how we can use a chatbot or other AI tools to actually use the medical reports or blood test or X-ray reports to get inputs or suggestions from chatbot or other AI tools, right? But in reality, do we really do that? Patients generally go for consultation with the doctors, and if they are not happy with the consultation, they go for second opinion. But in the ideal world, do we really actually go to chatbot and upload our report and get its inputs or suggestions on what do we need to do, what is the kind of medication we need to take? So that is not the case, right, in the real world. Then what exactly is the purpose of AI in healthcare? So what is the real purpose of introducing artificial intelligence in healthcare? Any guesses?
Making the decision with the technology, sir, I think.
Okay, making the decisions with the technology. Okay, okay. I will show you a video. Maybe so just listen to it, and then it will give you. We will discuss more once the slide is completed. So you can hear the video, right?
No, the video is not audible.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Um, Video is not audible, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So how to pipe the audio to the?
I think you need to just stop sharing and share the window of the YouTube alone.
Okay, fine. Okay, I will do that. Is it audible now? Is it
Not
audible?
really, sir. Not really.
No.
No, is it?
No.
How to play that now? Okay, how to find the audio to.
Sir, I think it is muted on the administrator's desk. Maybe let the administrator check the desk for the video mutability. There should be a kind of icon.
Or can I give the link so the admin can play the video?
Ideal, sir. Ideal, sir.
Okay. Okay, let me pass the video link. Okay, I'll stop presenting. Maybe the admin can help to play the video. Can someone play the video, please, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm just trying it.
Artificial intelligence has often been depicted as villain robots ready to take over the world. But I'm here to tell you that AI can actually save lives and improve healthcare for millions of patients around the world. AI is helping us personalize the delivery of care, make hospitals more efficient, and improve access to healthcare by providing accurate decision-making tools. AI is the process of educating a computer model using complex and large data sets. The model learns from this data in a training process to build its ability to make decisions or predict outcomes when presented with new data. We are talking about having access to a computer model that knows, based on the experience of thousands of other patients, whether a treatment is likely to work and what works best for that patient based on their individual conditions.
सर एक आम आदमी ए और चैट जीपीटी से क्यों भागे जा रहा है, क्यों उसको आसान शब्द में कोई सिखा नहीं पा रहा है?
देखिए एआई और चैट जीपीटी से
No two of you in this room, or in fact anywhere in the world, are alike. But AI models are helping our doctors learn from patients with similar conditions or even similar genetic information and make highly informed decisions about their diagnosis and their treatment options. I want to talk about how we are starting to use AI for delivering care to cancer patients. Cancer diagnosis can be immensely complicated, both for the doctors in making decisions about diagnosing a primary or secondary cancer, as well as for the patients in understanding the risks and success rates of the treatment options. But we are developing AI models that can help streamline this process by taking information from a number of sources. This involves feeding an AI model data from the patient's blood tests, X-ray images of the suspected lesions, as well as genetic information from a tissue biopsy. The trained AI model can rapidly consolidate this information and provide highly accurate predictions of the patient's diagnosis, treatment options most likely to succeed, as well as the prognosis. Let's talk about Peter, who is a cancer patient. He's gone through comprehensive clinical assessment, imaging, and various other diagnostic workups. But not even the best doctors in town can tell him where his cancer primary site is. Meaning he can't get a treatment specific for his cancer, and his chances of surviving another 5 years is less than 10%. But our team right here in Brisbane has developed a tool using AI and patients' genetic information that can accurately identify the cancer primary site of Peter and empower doctors to give Peter a treatment that we know is going to work for him. These type of models can be expanded exponentially to predict accurate healthcare. This means using an AI model to understand whether a certain population is more susceptible to a certain disease and whether they would respond more favorably to certain healthcare interventions. AI is giving us the ability to have a much more refined and detailed understanding of human health than we've ever had before. But there is a catch to the immense promise of AI being implemented into routine clinical practice. Our existing regulation frameworks aren't designed for AI software intended for diagnosing, treating, or managing the disease, also known as AI-based software as a medical device. They are designed for physical medical devices like surgical implants or most software that have the same output every time that the patient or clinicians are using them. Traditional software are static, in a sense that the developers release a version of a software, and no matter how many times you use it, it would always have the same output for the same data. On the other hand, AI software behave completely differently to most software in healthcare because of the intrinsic ability to learn and evolve over time, ideally becoming more intelligent and suited to the environment that they're being used at. Our existing regulation frameworks rely on the static and reproducible nature of this software to prove that they are safe to be implemented into routine clinical practice. So our regulatory authority's solution has been to lock the learning potential of these algorithms before they are implemented into clinical practice. This means that the model can no longer learn from its environment and new data, which limits its potential to improve its functionality or its accuracy. You know, the whole point of AI. And at times, this can even be harmful for the patients because the AI model is no longer trained on the most up-to-date data and can potentially lead to a wrong diagnosis. But the good news is that there are emerging regulation frameworks being proposed that, if implemented right, can be a game changer. Our regulatory authorities are proposing using more transparent reporting mechanism so that the developers can disclose how their models would learn and evolve over time. And this will be combined with ongoing and real-time monitoring to make sure that the predicted changes actually occur and that the software is adaptive to make much more accurate predictions and improve healthcare outcomes. We also need to make sure that the training data used for these algorithms are representative of the entire human population. Let's look at a mobile-based diagnostic software that we are developing again right here in Brisbane that uses AI to detect skin cancer from the images that you've taken on your iPhone. If this model has been trained on a predominantly Caucasian population, how well do you think it would do on an African American or an Asian patient? Our AI developers have a huge responsibility to make sure that data bias doesn't exist and that their models are trained on diverse and robust data sets representative of the entire population. You know, not just white males. But at times, we understand that this is not entirely possible. Skin cancer does in fact disproportionately affect the Caucasian population because of the genetic differences, and as a result, there are much larger data sets available for those patients. But this means that we need to build in a functionality in our AI models that for low confidence results for an Asian patient, for example, the model is capable of saying, I don't know, or that this is my best guess based on a skewed training population. But unfortunately, this functionality doesn't exist yet, and it's urgently needed to be mandated by our regulators. To successfully implement AI in healthcare, we need to establish new regulatory frameworks in consultation with AI developers, healthcare practitioners, policy advisors, as well as the patients themselves to bring the best out of AI. Improved regulatory frameworks can make sure that diverse and robust tools are developed that are compliant and adaptive and can serve the whole population equally. If we get this right, we can transform the delivery of healthcare where we are promoting personalized health and well-being advice. I'm excited to be at the forefront of translating this amazing technology into healthcare and use this to help millions of lives around the world.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So take note of the point data bias. We will be discussing more on it. So I will share the slide again. Okay, so now, okay, can you guys see my slide?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so now after seeing the video, so we can clearly say that like the use of AI is very much working on the large sets of data, right? So basically, the primary evolution of AI in healthcare is to analyze historical and large set of patient data. So it's not localized for one person. Say, for example, it is used to analyze historical development and current trends. Say, for example, in a country like Singapore, right, the healthcare data of all the local population is fed into a national system where, like, a patient can walk into any government hospital and it is available on the internet to be accessed. Actually, in such kind of an environment, right, patient data is available at a national level to actually analyze the current trends. I mean, and basically to see if their parents are having diabetic or like have some cardiovascular disease, like what are the options or possibility that the kids also will have the similar inheritance of issues. So basically, AI has evolved to learn from a large model of medical data to analyze the current trends and then basically to also personalize the medical and therapy treatments for patients as a whole. And then, like as per, we are also it's some of the key technologies we are using as machine language, NLP, for analyzing the huge data models. So these are one of the key areas why AI is being a key factor in the healthcare sector. So, what are the key aspects or the key takeaways from the video that we have seen, right? So, diagnostic and predictive analysis. So, based on the healthcare data, right, we are able to early detect diseases through predictive models. And also, we can optimize the treatment plans by identifying the problems through a data driven clinical mechanism. And second, we can have a personalized medicine and treatment planning actually. So basically as we hear, right, no one person is the same. So people can have a different issues, and then they need a personalized treatment planning. So this AI solution helps to identify or tailor the treatment as per the individual patient needs. And also, we also talk about the data bias, where like the data available is not globally available. Say, for example, we saw that some of the skin disease for Caucasians is not available for Asian patients or African patients, which is typically a data bias which limits the AI in creating a model or a analysis that is suitable for the whole population. So basically, like avoiding all this data bias and coming up with a global data requirement will be the key for achieving this healthcare's AI-based solution. And also, in the next videos, we'll be seeing how remote monitoring of the patients can help to minimize the cost of visiting hospitals, or how it can be more efficient in accessing and then treating the patients actually. So now we are talking about artificial intelligence, how it can seamlessly help the patients to get treated, and then basically we are also touching upon the topic of how cybersecurity can embrace and work with AI in the healthcare sector. Some of the key considerations are the HIPAA regulatory compliance. HIPAA stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, which ensures that basically the privacy and security of the patient's health information is protected. And also the GDPR protection, the General Data Protection Regulation, as is one of the key considering factors that we need to take into account when we are embracing AI in healthcare sector. So some of those data should be highly localized, and then it cannot be shared or transported across boundaries. So some of the key areas are lawfulness, fairness, and transparency. All these key considerations are to be taken into account when we are building a scalable AI solutions for healthcare. Okay, so we are going to see the futuristic AI-based healthcare. So how the future is going to look like with the AI-based healthcare solution. Okay, we will go through another short video, and then I will explain like what will be the future of healthcare with all these AI-based solutions coming into play. Okay, I'm sharing another video link.
Magic. Abracadabra.
The quest for artificial intelligence began more than 80 years ago.
I can perform 36 distinct acts.
The idea was that computer technology would one day be powerful enough to carry out tasks better and more efficiently than humans.
We've got to actually say hello to it.
Today, AI has come of age. It's already having an impact on many parts of human life, from self-driving cars to finding soulmates. But perhaps its greatest impact will be on medicine and the way we monitor human health. Dr. Eric Topol is one of the most influential doctors in digital medicine. The pioneering American cardiologist has helped develop drugs that have saved countless lives. He's now at the forefront of the AI revolution in healthcare. These are his prescriptions for transforming the future of human health.
The overarching goal is to bring back the humanity. If we do this right, we can rescue the problems of healthcare.
The doctor-patient relationship is a founding principle of healthcare and medicine.
The first step is to eliminate keyboards and computer screens in clinical encounters.
Some doctors in the West can spend up to twice as many hours on medical paperwork than with their patients.
In the years ahead, we should be able to eliminate the data clerk functions of clinicians. These are mutually hated as much by patients as by doctors and clinicians.
AI tools, such as speech recognition technology, that are now commonplace in homes, could be used in clinical settings for capturing data and notes, allowing doctors to concentrate on people.
We have a problem with accuracy and efficiency.
Trained on a huge resource of medical data, the power of AI learning can read some images more accurately than humans.
Whether it's a pattern like a scan or a slide or prediction, AI can really rev up the accuracy, and that is important for a better diagnosis, better treatments, better outcomes, lower costs.
Powerful machines can interpret scans 150 times faster than radiologists and can work 24 hours a day. AI can even suggest a diagnosis.
Many conditions could be AI diagnosed. And so the time that a doctor comes into play is very specific to important diagnoses.
Data is critical for improving our understanding of disease and illness. The more we understand, the better the chances of preventing, diagnosing, and curing. But currently, only about 5% of medical data is used effectively.
We had a problem with generating so much data, terabytes of data for each person, but we didn't have a way to analyze it. We didn't have a way to extract the juice, the distillate of this. Now we do. And that's what artificial intelligence is really about.
Harnessed to wireless devices, AI could oversee every facet of people's health data, from family history to food intake to exercise.
People will have the opportunity to have this real integrated view of themselves to help prevent illness, to help guide them for better management of conditions. Over time, we'll see this virtual coach for promoting health.
Constant AI monitoring could transform the most prolific diseases that demand the most care, such as diabetes. This would empower people to take charge of their own health.
Another way that AI will kick in over time is to get rid of hospital rooms. We can monitor patients in the comfort of their own home because they can have the sensors that would provide the same type of monitoring as if someone was in the intensive care unit.
Caring for people outside of medical settings would not only prevent hospital-acquired disease, it could also save money.
All these things favor this shift of reliance on a patient's bedroom rather than the hospital room. We're talking about a whole lot of people that don't need to be employed in the hospital setting. That is a great way to reduce the burden in the future. In the United States, a hospital costs $5,000 a night, so you could get a lot of data plans that go for years for that cost. If the clinical community stands up for patients and say all the power, efficiency, productivity, workflow from AI is going to be used to give the gift of time to doctors and nurses and patients, that's where we flip this thing and achieve a rescue mission for healthcare.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Interesting, isn't it? So exciting things how AI is going to transform healthcare in the near future. Okay, so let me share my slide. Okay, is my screen visible? Hello?
Sir. Yes, sir,
Okay.
it's visible.
So the key takeaways for futuristic AI-based healthcare is as per what Eric Topol mentioned, like remove computer screens and keyboard. So use technology and voice-based solution to capture the patient's feedback and notes. So this will allow the doctors to focus on patients and their treatment plans. And second, use machines to reduce error. So basically in future, when you go to hospitals, like basically doctors will be keying in the personalized data into an AI model rather than ERP solutions or standard softwares or standalone softwares. So it can provide a dedicated or a personalized treatments actually. So advanced algorithm supports precise treatment planning, optimized healthcare outcomes. And also you can imagine like you can actually chat with AI models of doctors, like who can actually like get trained, and then basically can prescribe you medication just like you visit them on site. And also the third point was harvesting data, right, for better outcomes. With a lot of massive data, we can harvest the data for better and efficient clinical treatments. And also in future, going to hospitals will become a matter of convenience. So basically we can stay at home, and then we can do a 24 by 7 tele medicine kind of a remote monitoring solutions, where healthcare based IoT solutions will play a major role in providing a remote healthcare based solutions actually. So these are some of those futuristic AI based healthcare progression, where we will get rid of those computers, and then we will be training AI modules to give you a customized treatment plans, and then provide you with remote telemedicine assistance, and also assist in the harvesting of large sets of data for better outcomes. And these kind of AI models for doctors, if you can imagine, even in the edutech sectors, imagine like you are able to train an AI model to replicate a faculty's experience. And then if those solutions are available, imagine how it could be useful for students in actually interacting with them remotely. And then also it reduces a lot of burden for teaching, and also for interacting with students, planning the curriculum, all these things. And teachers can spend more time on more productive things rather than spending on mundane curriculum preparation activities, just like we do now. Before we go into the smart nation, I would also like to show a few exercises. I will share you a URL, so which you can actually open it, and then like you can actually try it out later, because there are some exercises that are available, so which you can actually work on it. So right now I will show you some data models that I have prepared. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay, so I have prepared some test data, which is basically like close to 100 data in terms of medical data with the blood pressure, heart rate, sugar levels, and cholesterols, which can be like basically like just like we saw like how AI models can be trained to actually study and come up with intellectual medical outputs, right? So basically we are simulating that scenario. So okay, 1 second. Okay, so I have actually extracted close to 500 patient data, which are actually fed into a AI model, and then it is also able to come up with some statistics. Okay, so from this data, right, it is also showing like out of those 500 patients, right, 120 are healthy, and 90 are diabetic, 80 are with obesity, and 70 are with hypertension, and 40 are with heart disease actually. So I further drill down this data with perplexity, which actually further gives me a breakdown like for based on gender. So here you can see that for diabetic type 2, females are and males like 3.6, healthy 7.7, heart disease 3.5, hypertension 8.6, mild hypertension 7.7, pre-diabetic 6.5. And if I want to go by age group distribution by diagnosis, so it is actually, so less than 30 are basically like 1, 5, 3, 6, 1, 3, and 30 to 39 are predominantly more with a mild hypertension and pre-diabetic, and 40 to 49 are more with hypertension. So these kind of analytics, right? So this is the whole purpose of you using AI to make some intellectual decision making, like what. So basically, to analyze the data patterns, to come up with some conclusions, like basically to identify the age groups which are majorly impacted by common diseases, or the age groups, or gender, or the what kind of medication they can take for specific diseases, and so these kind of patterns can be evaluated by specific AI tools. We have also analyzed, like based on some of those data, like say for example, if I'm uploading So it is able to tell me the first image, there is a fracture on the wrist, and the second image, there is a fracture on the elbow, and then the third image, there is a slight fracture on the shoulder, and then the fourth is actually an ankle fracture, minor ankle fracture, distal tibia. So basically, like so, this kind of simulatory evaluation of healthcare-based data can be done using the AI tools. These are just the free versions, and then if you are able to get a pro version, it can be a lot useful for the doctors to make a second opinion, or make some intellectual assessment that could have missed human attention. Okay, okay. I'm just going back to the slides. Okay. So can you guys see my slides?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next topic is AI as a pillar of smart nation development. So basically, before going into the a smart nation, so I have drawn a smaller footprint of a smart campus. Imagine Hicas wanted to build a smart concept, a campus concept around your institution. So, what are the basic things that you would require, or the components that would be required to set up a smart campus? Because in order to build some kind of a smart nation at a national level, we need to understand what are the fundamental elements that are required for even building a smaller framework of a smart IoT solutions. So basically, as you could, we go from down. So basically, as you could see, the cloud and data analytics ERP-based solutions for students, faculties, administration. You have learning management solutions, your ERP solutions, and BI solutions at the elementary level, which will be connected to a local edge processor, and then like which in turn connects with all the IoT devices like your CCTV cameras, smart classroom video, I mean like the surveillance systems, and your energy and the environmental devices, and the other IoT devices that are interconnected through the network, and then they actually get connected to a edge server, which in turns connects to a core, a switch router, and a firewall based solution, and then they connect to the internet. So these are some of those fundamental components that are required to set up a smart campus. And if you are talking about setting up a smart nation solution, imagine for India. So basically, the primary requirement will be to connect all the transportations, healthcare, education, and other infrastructure-based solutions through solutions like basically like for example, right now, imagine we are using the Aadhaar card as the unique digital ID. So all these infrastructure should be connected to the national backbone network, and then all these data elements like the smart infrastructure has to be connected through an IoT device. And as you could see, all these are connected to with the backbone of cybersecurity and analytic solutions. And this becomes how the fundamental operations of building a smart governance or a smart nation solution actually. So we are thinking as an ideal solution for building a smart nation for a country like India. But Singapore has been at the forefront of smart nation solutions. The Singapore Prime Minister announced the Smart Nation project in 2014, and in 10 years, so basically, like most of the healthcare, as I mentioned earlier, right, we can walk into any national hospital, and our medical reports are accessible by any doctor to see the medical history and recommend the medications as and when it is required. So those kind of smart nation initiatives and interconnectivity has already been established in first world countries like Singapore, where the healthcare, education, and all the government level infrastructures are seamlessly connected through a national level digital ID. And let us see how Singapore has managed to achieve this in the last 30 years. So maybe I will share a start 2 minutes a video of how this has been achieved before we go into the further slides.
Basically, the OG players that was established to build the ICT capabilities. Fast forward 20 years, we developed our national digital identity, SingPass. It started as a simple login to government services, so users don't have to remember multiple passwords. But it has also grown to become our digital identity for everyday transactions. Today, SingPass enables secure and convenient access to more than 2,700 services by over 800 government agencies and businesses. In 2014, then Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong officially launched the Smart Nation. And with a growing need to build our own government platforms and products, GovTech was birthed. QR scanning features integrated in banking apps and payment service providers, to the launch of Ubi, an automated website accessibility testing tool. And recently, the development of AI-powered scan sites detector, RMSE. These are just some ways GovTech is working to engineer a digital government and make lives better. So much has changed over the past 60 years, and I can't wait to see what's next for our Smart Nation. Stay tuned for more Tech Bites and happy 60th birthday, Singapore! I'm always so proud to say that this is home, truly. We now enjoy many conveniences thanks to tech advancements. But ever wonder what Singapore was like before all this digitalization?
Yeah, I think the video is over, man. I think
one of the first digitalization organizations in the government was the National Computer Board.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, interesting, right? With the SingPass single sign-on, we are able to log into any government portals with a single ID, actually. So that is something like I think India will envision to log into all the government portals with a single Aadhaar card kind of a solution, where we'll be able to actually identify and actually integrate all the smart nation concept, and then integration with all the digital bodies and also the government bodies with a single login through a single sign-on, and also like integration with IoT and big data will be part of this smart nation solution. So basically, like as you would have seen, like enhancing public health systems through AI, real-time data management and disease surveillance, and smart hospital infrastructure and digital health records. All these can be achieved through a combined AI-based smart nation solutions, where like basically we can assume that a person who has previously visited hospitals in Coimbatore can walk into any IIM hospital in Delhi or other locations and get treatment, and his medical records can be available at a national level. So it becomes very seamless and painless to access to get easy access to healthcare. So that is something we should envision and achieve, and hopefully we can achieve with our current vision in mind. So basically, that's what the benefits of AI integration, the healthcare outcomes we have already seen, how it can seamlessly help in predicting healthcare and then ensure that the medical consultation is efficient, and then enhance accessibility and patient enhancement through telemedicine based solution, and basically like having a seamless social impact with the smart nation projects, where like patients in Tamil Nadu can take treatment in Delhi through centralized medical data management system. However, we have to take note that data privacy and then basically like workforce displacement requires critical to maximize sustainable benefits. And also some of those challenging and ethical consideration to make data privacy and security concerns. So data privacy is something we need to take note of. Healthcare related data, AI bias and data bias is something we also seen how like specific bias can exist in the healthcare data that can prevent in providing holistic solutions. Regulatory issues and implementation and technological limitation can also be some of those challenges in implementing these AI-based healthcare solutions. And futuristic outlook and strategies. So basically, like all these things, like AI-driven, AI-based driven genomic solutions and AI-powered telehealth solutions and smart nation initiatives, global initiatives, where all the medical health data will be available to all the clinics across India, where this will become a seamless integration for the Smart Nation project. So that is some of those emerging trends and innovation that we can talk about. And then, as I also mentioned, like a AI model for doctors who can actually like integrate with the Smart Nation system, and then they can also provide remote consultancy for patients, like taking the healthcare to a next level. So that concludes today's presentation, and I'm happy to take questions.
Yes, a very interesting presentation of yours, sir. Maybe that the telemedicine as well as the personalized medicine is taking over, and the integration of AI is going to be the key issue. But I have a few questions about the options. Maybe, the big data around medicine is not easy, right, to access. As maybe in Singapore, it's a small country where you have all the provisions, as well as the governmental transparency is always very important part of Singapore development. But if you look at the options in India, the data is very limited, and the accessibility to data, especially the medical data, is very sensitive, and also it is highly privatized. Right, none of the private hospitals are going to share any data. Also, that the data on the government side is also not that much. So, what is the option that you can suggest where the transparency is very limited, and also that the other complexity is that the population differences in terms of genomics as well as in terms of personal medicine is entirely different, right? Maybe Singapore, whatever data from Singapore cannot be applied to Indian population. Likewise, the Caucasian data will not work here. That is already proven even with the diabetes, right? With simple mutations around. So maybe that, what are your suggestions? Maybe you are working in this industry. So maybe that, what do you think is a suggestion for the techies like you to integrate AI into medicine in India, especially in the Indian context? Can you just highlight?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So basically, so that's when we come to implementation of technology like even Aadhaar card, right? So India has its own challenges because of the vast demography and the political landscape. So what we have to do is that, right? We have to follow the centralized management approach, meaning that all these data points are only accessible within the government hospitals, and all these data are centralized and interconnected at the central government and state government level, with ready access to this data across central and state government servers actually. And we have to slowly bring the private hospitals also into this network by giving them read access to this data. So there has to be some kind of alignment with the private hospitals association, and then they have to be given a limited access to this data based on compliance and agreed regulations, so that they are able to access the data to provide treatment. So it's basically available for purpose of consultations, patients are visiting for second opinion, so they need to carry this data, or they need to access it from a secure server. So those kind of consideration has to be provided for private hospitals to provide a seamless access or fair access to for patients to access the different network of hospitals, not only within the state but across states and the country. But this is easier said than done. But at some point of interlinking has to be done. At some point, like when we thought Aadhaar card and PAN card has to be linked, we thought it is a huge task, right? But the government has managed to achieve that. When somebody spoke about demonetization, they thought it is a big risk, but somehow we took that chance, and then we went through that process. So I think the government has to take an initiative and follow a diligent process to make this possible.
True, sir. And on the side of genomics, I could see some real good prospects. Even in your last slide, you said something about genomics. But if you look at genomics as a platform for integration of such kind of data, very sensitive data, you know that the mutations are the key here. And what I see as of if you compare the Caucasian population, for example, let us take diabetes as a whole, which is already a well-established disease, and it is an epidemic. I can see that it's an epidemic. And maybe I see a good opportunity to integrate genomics into the system. So what I mean is, maybe it is going to work across populations. All the predictability based on genomics is better than the regular data what you get. Maybe the biochemistry data what you're going to get out of the medical, the data what is available. If you compare the genomics data, and exome sequencing is becoming cheaper and cheaper nowadays. Exome is hardly going to cost $2,000. And which is going to be implemented. I think the Indian government has an option to implement exome sequencing shortly for all the newborn. For all the newborn, they want to take this as an option, because predictability becomes very transparent in that sense. So maybe that, sir, I suggest that genomics is going to be the key issue. Also, that I recommend some of the faculties, especially from biotechnology side as well as IT side, to integrate with sir. People like him. And certainly you can bring some exciting projects for your college. Maybe this is, epidemiological studies is very limited in this country. Even for COVID, we could see that the epidemiology is almost nil. Even the national institutes have done nothing, almost nothing, I can say. So maybe that the faculties have to be integrated with IT people as well as some of the medical institutions here around. This is a kind of interdisciplinary, activities that can be done where we can get some good projects from the government. Government is very much interested. The BIRAC schemes are very much interested in giving the projects for such integration, especially at international level. Yes, sir, for this key issue. Maybe genomics can be a key issue. That's what.
Yes, I agree. So basically, it gives us an option to open the door for integration, and then take the first step with the AI for healthcare, and then probably the other sections of healthcare can follow. I know a friend of mine is actually using AI for her cancer diagnosis. So basically, like they will give the cell patterns and then analyze whether this patient is having any possibility of having a cancer. So I think like cancer detections through AI or for oncology, radiation oncology, there are some areas where AI is being used for analyzing or predicting cancer disease ahead of the time, so that they can be cured with early treatment actually. So those are some of those areas, genomics or cancer analytics. So there are some of those areas where we can employ AI for early detection or a prediction of diseases for at an early stage.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the participants?
So this concept of bias, how can that be reduced?
A good question, ma'am. So the concept of bias is basically making the data available across all regions, right? So basically, like we spoke about Caucasian data bias. So the same problem can occur in India also. Imagine like you wanted to take the blood samples of people. Imagine like it is only available for people from the southern part of India, and then the data samples are not available across the northern part. So imagine like if you're sampling for blood samples from someone in Delhi, so it's not going to give ideal result actually. So building the data sets for the whole population of a specific region has to be holistic, and then we have to take into consideration all the races or people of that specific country into account while we are building the data sets. Otherwise, as we mentioned, the data predictions may not be reliable because it doesn't handle the whole data sets. So the data may not be predictable, or sometimes the system can even say, "I don't know." So that is what will happen if we do not have the whole data sets. Okay, so that is why we have to actually make this as a holistic plan and cover the entire possible data sets in order to have a reliable prediction.
Just one more point I want to add here is as for the biasness of data. I see that the AI can also look at the biasness. There are a lot of big data sets, as you mentioned, sir, throughout the Caucasian population when it comes to health. You're going to submit your small data. For example, if you are going to submit a small data in Coimbatore population for a particular disease, and AI tools are available. I could see some interesting AI tools available right now to see the biasness, to at least to estimate the robustness of the data. With some statistical tools, it is able to do it. Right? A lot of such tools are also coming up, which is very interesting to eliminate the biasness.
Yeah, one way is to do an extrapolation, if I could, Sagar. So basically, I'm also putting an hypothetical situation where we can extrapolate the data for the larger set of population, but it may not be exactly accurate, but at least it reduces the room for errors by at least 30-40%. Or at least we should have a smaller sample of those data, and then we have to extrapolate from that a smaller sample for a bigger data set, so that we can minimize the error of any prediction errors.
Yes, sir. The good predictability of the outliers, removing the outliers, as well as the false positives, kind of things is also happening. A lot of algorithms around that is also being done. I could see a lot of predictability, better predictability is happening nowadays. And even with a small data set, for example, we submitted I think a data set from 1,000 plants of rice, as I'm an agriculture scientist. And we were able to predict a lot of interesting genes as compared to the 70K project, what we called as 70K project, genomics project. And we were able to identify the outliers. We were able to eliminate the outliers, as well as we were able to work on the false positive within our data also. It is predictable now. So a lot of options are coming up. A lot of interesting options around AI. Not only that, you can do a lot of things, but also you can eliminate or at least you can minimize your data in your. Minimize the error in your data set. That can also be easily done. A lot of
Yes.
tools, interesting tools are coming up, sir. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. So we call it as a hallucination in terms of the false positive from the AI system, right? Where so there's just now the if you see in all the Chat GPT or Perplexity, they are putting a disclaimer. The results from the Chat GPT models can be incorrect, also have mistakes. So that is actually that having an exit clause for the hallucination or the incorrect data sets, right? So basically, it is becoming a common problem because, like 1 year ago, there was only maybe 1 million people accessing ChatGPT, but right now the billions of peoples are accessing around the world the ChatGPT or the AI Perplexity or other models. So the amount of data that is within the system is huge, and the room for error is also huge because it is also processing a lot of data. There is also always a room for error, but it is also self-learning so that it will minimize those error in the next occurrences as well.
Thank you, sir. There's one question in the chat. How can social workers assist in building trust in AI-driven healthcare systems among rural communities?
Sorry, I don't get this question. What do you mean by social workers assist in building trust? I don't get this question.
Priyadarshini ma'am, can you just switch on your mic and talk? Priyadarshini ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, nowadays, the social workers are also inclined to work in rural areas, and we are also into this adapting AI in different sectors, like health, welfare, industries, in psychiatric setting. So in urban areas, it was very much familiar, and most of them are using VR for, detecting many psychiatric problems or any kind of health problems. But I want to know how far this AI can be implemented in rural sector and how it can be educated among the people.
Okay, Priyadarshini ma'am, I got your question. So basically, one of the ways to access the rural social workers is through a telemedicine-based solution, as I mentioned, right? In future, healthcare. So even the urban people, right, don't need to go to a hospital to get treatment. If basically if you have a telemedicine-based system, so telemedicine is something is already there in the healthcare segment for some time actually. So. I was previously in the maritime shipping industry. So where people working in the ships, like they used to rely on telemedicine-based solution to get medical consultation or medical treatment or consultation with doctors. Because if they go in a ship, they might end up maybe for 2 or 3 months on the sea. And if they fall sick, if they need to consult a doctor, internet-based consultation is the only way to actually get access to healthcare. So right now, as I mentioned, right, it is becoming absolute with the 5G and other telecom backbone networks having access to speed data, right? So even urban populations will be using telemedicine-based healthcare solutions in future with the advent of IoT-based solutions. So if you have a strong internet-based solution right now, the geo is being accessible across rural areas, right? If they have a proper broadband connection and with the help of a mobile phone using a telemedicine app, even rural people can get access to uh, good healthcare solutions actually. So those will be the fundamental, as I mentioned, right? You need a fundamental infrastructure in place to make these vision a reality. So that is how everyone across India, even in the social in the rural areas, will get access to a proper healthcare solution. Hope I have answered your question.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for this.
Any questions from the participants?
I think we can wind up the session, sir.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for patiently listening through the sitting through the entire day. I don't know if it's been a long day for all of you. Thank you so much, and have a good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ganesh Ram, sir. Nice connecting with you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Maybe that will
Thank you.
for some collaborations shortly.
Sure, definitely. Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
This actually from the participant side also we can collaborate and come up with some projects so that Cybervolt and Ganeshram sir can help us proceed with that.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sure, ma'am. Looking forward. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, participants. Tomorrow, same time, 5:45, we can join the session. Thank you so much. Kindly fill the feedback forms that are given in the chat box. The links to the feedbacks will not be posted in your WhatsApp.
Manuel ma'am, wait ma'am, we have a vote of thanks.
Okay.
Kavita ma'am, proceed.
Sure, sir. Thank you, Mr. Rajbabu, sir, for your detailed and insightful presentation. As we come towards the close of today's session, it's time to express our gratitude to all those who made this program possible. I would like to invite Dr. Bhuvaneshwari ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of Biotechnology, to deliver the formal vote of thanks.
On behalf of the organizing team, it's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for today's session of our Atal Online Faculty Development Program on AI and Cybersecurity for a Sustainable Future, Innovation in Health, Agriculture, and Smart Cities. First foremost, I extend a heartfelt gratitude to today's distinguished speaker, Mr. Raj Babu Gunasilan, Cybervault Singapore, for his insightful talk on cyber threats in health and smart cities, and Dr. S. Ganesh Ram, Managing Director of Applied Genomics Coimbatore, for his enlightening session on blockchain and AI for food traceability and health. Your knowledge and perspective have truly enriched our learning journey, sir. I also take this opportunity to thank our respective management, principal, and coordinators for their continuous support and encouragement in organizing this FDP. A sincere thanks to all enthusiastic participants for the active involvement, interaction, and commitments which make this program meaningful and vibrant. Once again, and thank you all for participating in this FDP. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Bhuvaneshwari ma'am.
Thank you. Participants, can I end the meeting? If you have,
yes, ma'am, you can.
Has everyone